it's Saturday. You will have seen me do some stuff just as this started, maybe, or maybe you're gonna see it now. What I've done from, I don't know, Wednesday to today, which was cutting the panel for the rear, designing some bits for it, figuring out all of that. And that's what I've been doing this morning, because I had to do another take, a second version of that panel. I wasn't happy with the first one. I've painted it, it's all ready to go. It's just drying. So in the meanwhile, I came here to finish this, which I did off camera. Sorry, but time is running out, so I just wanted to get on with it. It's pretty much buttoned up here. It's done, I think. Ethernet plugged into the right port. Still haven't plugged in the ground lead. Fuse for the parallel connection. The cutoff box is here. It's underneath here, ready to go. 100 amp fuse for that and for the parallel connection. All the connections here crimped. Parallel connection to the back, cable to the cutoff box, and then from the cutoff box goes all to the rear, well, to the rear cupboard, to the bus bar. So yeah, I won't put the seat back on just yet, because again, I'd like to test this out before, if I have time. I'm not sure I will, but if I have some time, I would like to turn the system on, plug something on to the inverter, something around 1000 watts or so, and see if anything heats up, if there is anything I need to be aware of. Hopefully not. I've strapped the battery down with 2 straps across the top, 1 across the length, and also the 3D printed part for the foot, so this is not going anywhere. I will need to put some maybe 3D print or cut some piece of rubber to insulate these bits, because they're under the seat. The stock insulation, battery insulation cover won't work now. It won't fit, so I need to make just something to cover these. That shouldn't be a problem. And I'll try and film something of what I'm gonna do next, but it's just gonna be running cables, assembling the back panel. I'll try and do some time lapses of that, or just do it and then do this, because I waste less time fiddling around with the camera, just getting the work done, and then just filming and saying, okay, this is what I've done. I will try and film some time lapses, but again, I've run out of time, so I just need to get it done. So yeah, let's get on with it. Hey everyone, it's Sunday, almost noon, well, past noon. Stayed up till 3 a.m. last night. Got a fair bit done, as you can see here. A lot of cables routed. These will go on to there, but what I've focused on was mostly the fuse panel and the connections here. So the fuse panel is done, connected, in place. Just need the covers to go on, but not before I test everything. The front seat, you will have seen that's pretty much buttoned up as well. Just need to test, connect the battery wires and test everything. Same here. So there's a bunch of connections going from here to here. I've used these XT90 connectors. They're good for current, and I designed these little 3D printed covers for them that locks them in, prevents them from accidentally disconnecting. They shouldn't, they're reliable, but just a safeguard. So that's it. I've made the connection for the control, for the ventilation fan, for the compressor. Just need to hook these up together. This is the alternator to the back, to the Orion. Everything else is connected. Just need to put a few more of these covers in. Ethernet to the display, also done. So pretty much done here. So now I'm gonna just finish this up. I'll leave it like this because when I test, I want to see if any of these heat up, and then I'll after that I'll tuck them in and put them nice and tidy. Same for that. And yeah, then it's on to the back. Run these cables up here. I've already installed, I'm not sure you can see that, the runner and the lid. The cables will go on there to the top, and then to that side, the panel that I have cut out and painted yesterday that will have all the components onto it. It's right here. And yeah, moving along. I need to get it done today because apparently Volkswagen would like the van there for a service, for an oil change early this week. So I wasn't expecting that. Adds to the time crunch, but a fair bit getting done. So I'm hoping I can do everything before I have to take it in to Volkswagen. So I'll see you at the next update. Hey guys, this is the next update. It's Monday afternoon. I just got home. Crazy couple of days trying to get everything done over the weekend. I think I mostly have it done. I'm hoping to test the connections, plug in the batteries today, and test everything, turn everything on, which will be a momentous occasion. So yeah, what happened during the weekend? Well, this happened. The rear panel for the Orion DC charger, the solar that was there before, that's been there for years, a breaker, a little 3D printer breaker box for the solar and the hot water tank, the panel that I cut, that's there, so everything bolts onto it and I don't have to drill into the van, especially because I can't, because this sliding door goes behind that, so I couldn't actually drill there or I'd hit the sliding door. So that's the reason for this floating panel, and also the cables can run behind it. Then in the rear battery compartment, I crimped the ends onto the Ethernet cables for the battery, install the shunt, which I just need now. I didn't have M10 lugs, which these are, the shunt is, so I have them now. I just need to crimp a terminal onto this, a terminal onto that, and then just cut a small pigtail to go on, well, not a pigtail, but just a small length of cable to connect the negative to the battery side of the shunt, and that should be done. And then in the middle, everything is buttoned up. The panel isn't installed yet, but I've done the wiring for the fan. I've tidied up the cables, but I won't put it in place until I turn this on and see if everything is okay here. Same here, just waiting to put the covers on, but I want to see the system working before I do that. And this front seat, you had seen it. I haven't touched it. It's just waiting for the rest to be ready, and so I can test it. Oh, and also the 3D printed lid for the cables that run all the way up, and that's it. Now, what's gonna happen? First of all, I'm gonna test the batteries. I'm gonna connect the batteries without being connected to the system. I'm just gonna connect both batteries in parallel with a couple of Ethernet cables in the display, and test that separated from the rest of the system, see if everything pairs up, what their numbers are showing for voltage and state of charge. So I'm sure that that's okay. And then I'm not gonna plug in the new batteries. I am just use one of the old batteries or even a power supply and hook up 12 volts to the install. So I have I run no risks of damaging the new batteries, and also limit the currents in case something is wrong. There's hopefully not a big deal, so I can test everything with a power supply or a small battery. And then once I'm okay that that's good, then I plug in the new batteries, bolt everything down, and yeah, this is going to be exciting. I'll try and film this bit, since I didn't film actually all the work that I've done for the last couple of days, which isn't too exciting. It was just running cables and fiddling about with terminals and crimping and how am I going to run this cables to there. That isn't really all that interesting, but seeing now the system come to life for the first time, that might be exciting. I hope it's not too exciting. I hope it just works, but we'll see. So let's do it. So here we are. Let's connect them in parallel and then hook up the cables and see what happens. Hopefully everything should be okay. That's just a test. So connecting them outside the system, just on their own, one to the other and to the display. See if they pair up to the display. So just a test really to make sure everything's okay. I don't want to plug everything in and then if there's a problem I have to be chasing around trying to understand where the problem is coming from. So this just is going step by step. Should make things easier. So plus to plus. Negative. Still have to finish up the connections at the back, but I want to see this. I want to test this out first, just to give me some momentum. And then carry on. Just finish the connections at the back for the rear battery. And then plug in just a power supply to the whole system to simulate a battery. And test everything out, test everything that I've installed, switch over the Orion DC charger and the solar charger, connect via Bluetooth to them and configure them for lithium iron phosphate batteries, which I haven't done yet. And yeah, and then fingers crossed that everything's okay. Okay, that should be enough for a test. Let's unplug this one and let's plug in. So the up port, turn this one, and this one goes onto the link port, and then grab another one, and this one goes onto the display. And I guess this is the moment of truth. Well, let me take you along with me if I can. Let's just unplug this cable if I can. And let's put you on here. See what happens. So, undo this cable. Take it out if it wants to come out. Oh, that's on there. What's going on? There we go. Now plug this in. It should be, oh, we've got something. 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Yes, nice. 13.1 volts. This is battery 2, 13.1 volts. 68% state of charge, 136 amp hours left. This is battery 2, again, nothing being drawn. and back to the voltage. And what does this do? How do I switch? Oh, this is the total for both of them. Of course it is, because it's 136 amp hours and each battery only has 100. So yeah, that's what I thought we were seeing just one battery and we can switch between them, but no, this is the total number for the bank, which is 2 batteries in parallel, so it shows there 2 batteries. So yeah, okay, this is good. I think. What just happened? Just went down for a minute there. Okay, let's turn them off. See if that works. I think it did. Okay, so that bit is good. Now, on to the rest. So batteries are working, communications are working outside the van. So if I've crimped a cable wrong, or if any of the connections is not good, I will soon find out. So let's undo this, find a power supply, and plug in power to the, oh no, I still have to finish the connections in the back for the rear battery, and then on to testing the install under power. So yeah, let's go, let's carry on. Here we are again at the front. I've just finished up the connections in the rear. I haven't put the rear battery in place yet. I've left everything floating, not touching anything here and at the back. I've set up this benchtop power supply to simulate a battery, and now we're going to test the van's install, all of the work that I've been doing, and see how that is going. So the way I'm going to do that, we're going to start by testing if power from the engine goes to the Orion from the split charge relay, and also because I need to configure the Orion for lithium iron phosphate batteries. For that I need it to power on, so we're going to try that with this lead right here that's connected to the power supply. There's a ground line going to the bus, to the ground bus in the fuse panel. And yeah, let's try it on. Let's turn off the output until I plug it in. Right there. Now let's turn it on. Fans are working. That's the Orion. Oh, there you go. Smart solar is on as well. Nice. So yeah, devices are here. Let's go for the Orion. I need to change the default pin code, but for now let's just configure it. Oh no, there's an update. Come on, man. Really? Why does everything need a firmware update these days? Firmware updated. Oh, it's in power supply mode. Oh, I see. That's why the smart solar is working. Yep. It's working as a power supply, so let's stop the output, change it over to charger. Okay. And now, battery settings. Let's go to factory default. Oh, it's already smart lithium lithium iron phosphate. So I didn't actually need to change it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the charger disabled for now, the charging function, and I'll turn it on later once I've made sure everything's okay. I've disabled it from power supply so it doesn't mess with any of the settings. That should be good. Okay, so this is good. The smart solar is now gone because I disabled the output on the DCDC. Okay, I like that. Everything seems to be okay. So let's carry on to the next test, which is the fuse panel. Plug this in to one of these leads and see how everything goes. So let's do it. Okay, I had to go get a few things. Right, gonna dial this back down to 12.5, I think. 12.6 volts should be enough. And so ground lead stays where it is, connected to the bus bar, because once I finish this, it's going to be from here to the back, and then to the back, from the back to the bus bar. That's it. This is a parallel connection to the back, so it's unplugged there, so I can't use this. It's not connected to anything at the minute. This is the same thing, parallel connection to the back for the positive, not needed. So we're going to hook up the positive to this, which is connected to the shut-off box that I've installed, and it's going to power up everything. So fuse panel, the solar charger. So let's see what happens. Okay, nothing being drawn. Shut off. Why do I forget my own safety features? Okay, it's on. That's it. We've got power to the lights. Let's see if they turn on. Yes, there they are, turning on. Cabinet lights also working. That's good. Nothing's broken. Won't be able to test the fan. What else? Solar. Let's go on to the solar charger. Should be popping up now. Here we go. Smart solar. 12.5 volts. 0.1 of a voltage drop. That's nothing to worry about. Okay, let's hook up to it. There's an update. Okay, battery charger enabled for max charge current 20 amps, battery voltage 12 voltage, battery preset. It was set for my previous batteries, which were AGMs, and now let's go to user defined. No, that's not it. Select a preset. That's it. And smart lithium. Here we go. LifeBow. Changed all the numbers. Okay. Now the only thing that I need to power on is the smart shunt, but that won't be powered on until I hook up everything at the back. But everything seems to be okay for now. Let's do an update. Apparently there's another update for the solar charger. There's an update for everything every time. I still have the inverter to install, run those massive cables down to the inverter, but I'll put the batteries in place before that. I need to find a cover to protect the terminals on this battery. The rear one is inside that cubby hole, so there's no need, but this one needs because it's under the seat. So I need to find a piece of rubber. I do have a piece of rubber canvas that should fit here. I'll maybe use the straps to hold it down or make something, but it should be okay because this is just flush with the seat frame. I know the seat rails add a little bit, and this is, as far as I recall, pretty much as tall as the other batteries. I checked the dimensions online and I knew these are slightly taller. I'm hoping there isn't an issue. If there is, I might have to just find a way to either lift the whole seat frame, which I'm really hoping I don't need to do, or maybe just the seat rails, but probably the better solution is the seat frame. But gaining access to those bolts again, whew. Oh well, if it has to be done, I'll do it, but hopefully it's fine like that. So yeah, it's updated. It's okay. Nothing being drawn. So everything seems to be, nothing is shorting out. That's good. Now I'm gonna install the batteries for good, cables, everything, tighten everything down, then turn on the system again. I need to install the inverter because what I'd like to do is turn on the inverter, hook up like a toaster or something. Something that puts a decent load on the system. Something around about 600, 700, 800 watts. 1,000 even. Not that we need it. We rarely do need inverter power. We do have like a 600 watt blender that we use on occasion, but it's kind of rare. But I'd like to test the system just to see what happens, see if anything heats up. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, another update. It's 11 o'clock at night. I've finished the connections here. I just connected it externally because I'm 3D printing a base for it just to hold, because the standard, the original holds for the battery here in the rear don't work for this battery, so I'm trying to come up with a way to secure it inside the cubby hole. But in the meantime, I just plugged everything, connected everything externally so I can test the system. So it's currently charging from the original hookup and the original charger, Volkswagen charger, at a steady 15 amps, I think. So here you are, you can see it, 15.5 amps currently charging. That's okay. Here in the front I've hooked it up as well. And what I have also done just in the past few minutes is hook up the inverter temporarily so I can actually plug something in and test. I've already had a look with the thermal camera, just while it's been charging. Nothing is heating up, everything seems fine, but 15 amps is not a lot, so I wouldn't expect anything to get hot. But with the inverter now, that may change, but as long as it's nothing crazy, that's okay. So let's try it. Right, inverter. This is a 1500 watt inverter, 3000 peak, pure sine wave. It's quite, I got it when we got the van and then I installed it. We barely use it, to be honest. I mentioned before we have like a 600 watt blender, but it's very rare that we use it. But it's a good opportunity to test the system under load, see if anything heats up. You'll have seen, you may be seeing, or you'll maybe have seen some thermal camera footage of just while it was charging. The only hot spots were the charger, which is not, it's the original charger in the van. It's underneath the fridge. Not the best place to put it, by the way, because it really heats up. It was at like 45, 50 degrees. Also the fuse for it under the front seat, you will have seen that. It was hot as well. Everything else is okay. I've turned off the charger, and now let's try this. I've hooked it up temporarily. It should be around 80 amps for this toaster, which is 1,000 watts. Let's see what happens. Have thermal camera in hand. Let's plug it in and see. Okay, it's on. Toaster is on. And it's 46, 85 amps being drawn currently. Okay. Now let's go around with the thermal camera. Okay. I'm seeing 33 degrees at most. So yeah, it's barely warm. It's okay. I think it's looking good. It's solid. Seems to be okay. I need to crimp new cables. These are just the old cables that I had laying around. I need to make new ones to put that in there. And start assembling stuff. Put on the front seat, find rubber covers for the terminals, put the control panel in. Yeah, start putting everything back together. Hey guys, here we are again. Tuesday, lunchtime. Lunchtime finishing the van. So last night I got a fair bit done. I did film the testing, which you all have seen, but then after that I was just, with the help of Anna, we did install the front seat. It's now in place. Everything's done, properly bolted down, secured, fastened. That's good to go. I've installed the panel, the control panel. I've tested the fan. It's working, it's fine. And now I just need to put in the inverter. So run a couple of cables, one from there, all the way down here. Probably use this little plastic runner to protect them, because this is shelving, so you're going to be putting things in and out of this space, so best to protect the cables. They're quite hard wearing, but still just keeps everything a bit tidier. And also I've run into what some may describe as a silly problem, but for the rear battery, I have no really, the front battery you'll have seen I've strapped it down using tie down straps. These smart batteries, they don't have what traditional lead acid batteries have, which is the base of them as like a lip, a foot that sticks out a bit on either side, so that when you put it in regular battery compartments, there's a clamp that holds down that foot that sticks out. So on one side it will go under another lip, and on the other there's a clamp with a bolt that holds the battery down. It's quite a simple system, but it's quite effective. But for some reason, not sure why, these smart batteries don't tend to have that. At least these don't. And it's also quite a slippery plastic, so nothing really bites to this. So solution I've come up with is these 3D printed parts that are going to make that lip. So underneath here there are these spaces with this size, and this fits exactly around there. Use a bit of double-sided tape, and hopefully these will do that job. A couple of them on either side, or maybe even 3, and hopefully those will do the job of securing the battery. That's the only thing left to do here. So yeah, that's it. Once that is done, the inside is done, and hopefully maybe there's still time to do the panels, because I still haven't heard from the garage, from the shop, to take the van in for the service. Once that happens, I need to stop what I'm doing and take the van there for the oil change and regular maintenance. But hopefully I can be done before they ring me up. Just got home from work at 6 p.m. and over lunch I skipped lunch over, and over lunch I was just trying to finish this. So battery is in place. The 3D printed mounts that I built, the little feet that are double sticky taped on, have done the job. It's not going anywhere. This is stout. Everything's done, tied down, bolted down, just a cover to go on. And over in the middle, I've hooked up the inverter. I've put all the covers on the fuse panel, 3D printed cover for the little for the inverter positive. Right now it's just sitting here. It's been like this in the past, just sitting on anti-slip mat. But I'm thinking I might actually get a piece of ply or something and screw it down, and then if the board is as wide as this, then it won't move, won't go anywhere. Not that it will, because usually there's containers here, so this doesn't move, but still probably good practice to screw it down. And also, I've just had a call from the shop, from the garage, to take it in for the service tomorrow. So I would quite like to get the solar panels installed today. Probably another all-nighter if I tried to do that, because it seems easy, it should be easy, but I might have to fiddle around with something. So the way I've done it in the past is this is a regular panel. This is the same type that I'm installing now. This is a flexible one that I had, and I just used some angled aluminum rails to build a frame around it, and then just screw onto the roof rails with T-nuts. But I don't like it. As the time is going, this is sagging, and it's just losing power. It's not making as much power as it used to. This is much better. It's much sturdier. But I have to 150 watts. This, I think, was like 100 and 120, I think. But because they don't really match up to each other, there was some efficiency loss. But at the time it was what I had, and that's what I used. Same deal here. So the panel is riveted, as you can see right there, is riveted to this angled aluminum rail on one side and the other, and then just bolted down to the rails here, which works. It's fine, it's perfect, it's a good system. But what I don't like is that I used the rails to run the cables, and as neat as that is, with it in time, the sun beating down on this isn't very good. But if I have to do it the same, even if it's just for now, I'll do it. But ideally, I'd like to find a way to maybe run an aluminum tube from one panel to the next under them, and then just popping out here where this connects to the spiral cable into the van. So I'll need Anna's help as well to put the panels on top, see how they fit, because they're slightly bigger. And yeah, I'm gonna put you down, finish everything up here, in here, put the lids on, take all the tools out, all the junk out, and put everything back in. The shelves, the rear bed portion, all the shelves, all the boxes, everything, because we've got the VW meetup camp out over the weekend, so we need to be ready. So see you in a minute. Hello. We haven't spoken since Tuesday, I think. I took the van in for the service Wednesday morning. It was there until Friday for the service, and right after that I picked it up. I tested the solar, which took a bit of fiddling. I had some issues. It wasn't working. I'm not sure why. I think it was the solar charger that had some issue. I did a factory reset to it, and it seems to be working okay now. And we're here at Volks Camping 2023. It's a yearly meetup of Volkswagen enthusiasts. Lots of camper vans, lots of Volkswagens everywhere. And I've been testing out the system. It seems really good. Panels are up there. Well, the old ones still. I'm still hoping I can have some time to install the new ones before we leave for the road trip next week. And as far as the system, it's working. It's done inside. I finished it. Not sure I've shown you this before, but breaker for the solar, it is on at the moment. This is the breaker for the external hot water tank, the Orion. which is there. I made the little panel, floating panel for the cables to route behind. Also because there's a sliding door here, I couldn't really bolt anything onto this, and I wouldn't normally, so everything bolts onto this panel, 3D printed parts behind it. The solar charger, which is there since 2016 or something, is good. The fans really help. This heats up a lot, but with the fans, seems to be okay. System has been performing admirably, at least so far. You can see it right here. Let's turn on the light. It is currently at 99% state of charge. The fan is working and blowing hot air. I think the fan has made a very, very sizable difference to how the fridge works, because this is pumping out a lot of heat out of under the fridge. So the fridge seems to be working less to maintain temperature, which saves energy, keeps the fridge cooler for longer. And also the compressor has to work less to cool things. So I think this has been a really, really, really worthwhile addition for the price of a computer fan and a little switch. I think it's a definite must-have. You have to, if you own a van, one of these vans, do yourself a favor, install one of these. It's really easy to hook up to the fridge circuit. It only works when the fridge is working. It's beautiful. And even with the old panels, the system has been running mostly off of float all day, directly off of the solar. It's charged the batteries by, I think, 10:30 a.m. Batteries were charged overnight. It used up like 4% of the batteries, because again, the fridge is working so well that it only ran a couple of times during the night. And that was it. So it used very little energy. So batteries were like 97% this morning, and they started with the sun was up. Even though we're facing north, the panels are tilted north because they're on the elevating roof, and that's just how we're parked. They started charging at like 8:30, 9 a.m. They were already making some power. By 10:30, I think the batteries were charged. And since then, I've been charging the iPads, doing everything, and it's just running straight off of solar. Nothing coming in or out of the batteries, just a small trickle charge, a float charge onto the batteries. So that's really good to see. The Orion and the solar were charging the batteries all the way here yesterday at like 28 amps on the road. So most of that from the Orion, and about 100 to 110 watts from the solar as we were driving here. So yeah, the Orion was quite hot. It does get hot, so the fans are definitely worth it there as well. But yeah, I think I would prefer to have it in a more ventilated space, but that's really the only place you can have it, and it's fine. I think it's going to be okay. So I'm happy so far. Just hoping that I can install the solar panels this next week, because next Saturday we're off on trip again. So hoping that, yeah, maybe the next episode is solar panels. I'm gonna try and build everything off the van, build a frame for the panels, the cabling, everything off, and then just a matter of undoing the old ones, putting the new ones on as a single unit, bolt on, because I don't want to take the risk of starting to take the old ones apart, get stuck on something, and then I don't have any panels for the trip. So I'm going to leave the old ones on until I get everything lined up, the new ones built in a frame, everything ready to install, and then unplug ones, plug in the new ones. But you'll see that if I have some time to do it this next week. So yeah, the inside is what you've seen. It's working really good. I can definitely recommend. I think I might do an episode on the maths of the batteries. I think it's really interesting, and it's a really worthwhile upgrade if you're most of the time off grid like we are. It's very rare that we're in a campsite like we are here today. This is just a yearly meetup, and it's held at a campsite. But apart from that, we're almost always off-grid, and the self-sufficiency, the energy is really important. So definitely worth it. Can definitely recommend it. So see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.